This is NEM 2014 and I'm in interview session room with Bladimiar Norman, Senior Vice President of Marketing, Weinstein Company. Vladimir, thank you for coming here in NEM in Dubrovnik. It was a great, interesting in the panel, a lot of questions, and the main question is how to succeed with all those beautiful movies and stars in Hollywood and make them popular on the social networks. So what's your strategy when you're launching the movie? What is most important for you?
Well, you know, for me, when we have an overall strategy and an overall sell on what the movie is, and that comes from our president, our esteemed leader. But when it comes to developing an effective digital marketing campaign, I think the most important thing for us is to try to develop a campaign that has a strong emotional reaction to the materials that we're developing, and that can be simply meaning getting excited, getting happy, or it can be much richer in the sense of developing a stronger engagement opportunity.
When you're talking about a specific movie, you looking for the different platforms. And with Lee Daniels' Battler, you use the LinkedIn. For other movies, you look for some different platforms and social networks. How could you choose which movie is suitable for some, specific platforms?
Right. Well, I think that there's a short list in my head about emerging platforms that I think, and I think any great marketer, not that I'm calling myself a great marketer, but any great marketer should have, should be exploring new opportunities. And for Lee Daniels' The Butler, we utilize LinkedIn. But for Begin Again, which is a smaller film, we're utilizing Spotify, a massive platform, music platform to sell the concept of bringing together or connecting individuals through music and creating some sort of magic, which is the theme of the movie, and utilizing these different environments to and with The Giver, for example, utilizing social messaging applications, specifically in this case Kik, where we are trying to find these environments where consumers are not being inundated with advertising, but also are active and participating and have a big reach, where we can go in and stand out as a unique marketing tactic in an environment where consumers, again, are not inundated with advertising.
Giver is a great example because that's the movie who's supposed to say something about emotions. I'd like to say no emotions, the world with no emotions. And the campaign is quite opposite. They gather the people to show emotions, whatever emotion it is, sadness or happiness, whatever. And there is some kind of reward of the people who's going to be engaged with that campaign. So it's manageable that someone who's been sad being given with a first award and go to the beautiful place in the world.
Well, the whole concept of the film is trying to understand whether or not this type of dystopian environment with no emotions and no rewards and is better than having this free world that we actually live in. And the main character, Jonas, who's played by Brenton Thwaites, has this point of contention in his thought process where he's trying to understand which is the better route. And so what we did in the campaign was we wanted to try to have consumers experience emotions positively and negatively to be able to have this thought process. We don't necessarily have an opinion on it, on whether or not it's right or wrong. We definitely don't have an opinion on it, but we'd like consumers to think about it. That doesn't necessarily mean they have to develop an opinion on it as well. They just need to have an opinion on it. They just need to have a thought process on it. And if we get them to think about it, then that's exactly what we were talking about before. Eliciting an emotional reaction or eliciting a reaction in general to our materials, to our marketing campaign is always going to drive intent much higher.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to have Bladimiar Norman here in NEM 2014.
Thanks very much.